Welcome to your passion, purpose, and personal brand. I'm Lisa McGuire, and today I'm excited to introduce you to Jen Laffin, the empowering force behind Goal Getter Solutions, where she guides small business owners from self-doubt into decisive action toward their ambitious goals. Jen brings a powerful blend of accountability without angst, mindset mentorship, and practical strategies that help entrepreneurs develop unshakable self-trust. Her journey includes nearly a decade as an award-winning educator, a writing coach for teachers, and now a dedicated mindset coach. She leads in the Impactful Goal Getters Club and actively shares weekly accountability prompts that have become a motivational cornerstone for many entrepreneurs on LinkedIn, including me. So let's dive in and discover how Jen helps business leaders embrace discomfort, overcome avoidance, and transform their goals into tangible successes. Jen, we've been waiting a while for this conversation, so welcome to the show.
We have. Thank you so much for having me, Lisa. I'm so excited to talk with you today. I just appreciate you so much. So thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely. So you have described your role as providing accountability without angst, because when we hear the word accountability, we're thinking, okay, here it comes. So could you explain to us how this approach helps entrepreneurs move beyond self-doubt?
Absolutely. So when I talk about accountability without the angst, what I mean is we never shame or blame ourselves when we don't do something that we said we were going to do. I believe that at the root of all inaction is self-doubt. And so when I talk about accountability without the angst, what I really mean by that is we get to the bottom of what self-doubt roadblock came up for you that was that deciding point of I'm not going to take action, because that's what we need to clean up. We need to clean up that self-doubt. So that can look like perfectionism, procrastination, comparison, confusion, imposter fear, or shoulds. So that conditioning that we have. So those are the 6 main self-doubt roadblocks that I have found. Usually if someone is not doing what they say they're going to do, it's usually one of those things coming up. And so what we do is we just kind of dig in and say, what was that thought that came up at that moment when you decided not to show up for yourself? And let's fix that. And then let's try again. Because I truly believe every failure, which I don't really believe in failure, but we'll call it failure, is just data. It's just data. It's just showing us one way that did not work. And once we can take that data and go forward, that has value for us. So I love talking to people about accountability without the angst, because like that reaction that you had, like, ooh, someone's going to check in with me and I'm going to get in trouble. That just encourages like yucky feelings, but also the opportunity to be dishonest. And I don't want, when we're talking about your personal growth, like we have to be honest and fix what's kind of holding you back. So.
Right. And what I hear in that, what you're saying is you're getting really to the root of where that's coming from, rather than just, you just keep bumping into the wall, right? The same wall. Whereas if we can get in and identify it and shine a light on it, it doesn't have that power anymore. So I love that you do that.
And it raises the awareness, because a lot of the time we don't even realize that that's what's causing us to struggle with our commitments. We don't realize that it's our perfectionism or that we're feeling less than, that's really stopping us. And this is sometimes like so on the subconscious level that when I talk to people about it and they realize it, it's like this giant floodlight, not just a light bulb, but like a floodlight has gone on over their head. And they're like, oh my gosh, now I can totally see it. And I feel like once we start addressing it, it's not necessarily, self-doubt is never going to go away. It's a biological condition from our ancient ancestors that got passed along to us. It's never going to go away, but we now, as modern thinking people, can develop strategies to be like, okay, thank you for showing up. I've got this. I'm going to move forward. It's okay.
Yes, that awareness is pivotal. And when we realize we've been living with that for decades, seeing that it's freeing. It's freedom. It's freedom. Absolutely. It's what's going to take us there. Absolutely. So, I know when we spoke a couple of months ago, talked about your background in education and how you've been able to bring that to mindset coaching. So, how did your experience as a teacher prepare you to empower this group of entrepreneurs you're working with?
I absolutely loved being a teacher. I taught fourth grade for 9 years. I was not an early career teacher. I went into teaching, I believe, when I was about 37 after my kids
Okay.
had started school. And that was when I first started learning about mindset. I read Carol Dweck's book on mindset. I started using growth mindset with my students, and I saw the amazing effect it had in their confidence and their willingness to try things. We had on the front board, we had just a piece of 8 by 11 paper that just in big letters said the word yet. And we had this rule amongst us that we couldn't say, like, I don't get it. Because, like, for instance, fractions, like, I don't get fractions. They would have to add, like, I don't get fractions yet. Because it opens up that opportunity to always be learning, which is so important. So it was a natural switch to me because I wanted to take it on a bigger level because there are so many people right now who are in businesses and do not understand the effect that mindset has on their success. Plus also the benefit of being a teacher for so many years was that I feel like I'm really good at explaining concepts to
Mhm.
people, and I'm also really good at checking for understanding
Mm.
and being able to pick up the cues of if somebody is truly just saying they understand or if they are like, yes, I totally get this.
Mhm.
So that's why I'm thrilled to be able to bring both of those pieces together. I love teaching. When I do webinars and do coaching, it really, really lights me up. I just absolutely love it. So I'm
Yes,
excited for this work.
yes. And the point about delivering information in a clear way, that's only part of it is do people absorb it? So I love that you have that check for understanding piece.
Mhm.
Jen, so Carol Dweck's this growth mindset. And if you think about, most of the adults today did not grow up with that filter. And so I've seen the power of doing that. But a lot of us have this really, I've seen so many people with a victim mindset versus a
Mhm.
creator mindset. And that's a central theme in a lot of your work that I've seen
Mhm.
as I follow you. So, how can someone recognize which mindset they're in?
That's a really great question. And there's a really great book. I don't remember the name of the author, but it's called The Empowerment Dynamic, where
Mhm.
it talks about the difference between a creator and a victim mindset. If you're in a victim mindset, you really see things as happening to you,
Mm.
and you feel like you do not have any control. A creator mindset is where you realize everything is happening for you and that there is always a lesson to be learned. So when someone comes to me and they are arguing, what I call arguing for your limitations, meaning it's a lot of excuses and justifications for why things aren't happening, that to me is a good signal that someone is in a victim mindset. I want to help them get into a creator mindset where it's like, okay, well, let's control what we can control and let's take action on the things that we can take action on. And let's start using the circumstances that are happening for us as learning opportunities, as stepping stones, as ideas of new things to try. And being able to go from a victim to a creator is where the magic like really starts happening for you.
Yes, I could like see that shift in people. And so when you see that shift in people, Jen, what are things that you typically then find as a result?
A lot more confidence,
Hmm.
a lot more boldness, willingness to try new things. They give up the notion that making mistakes is bad.
Hmm.
So many times we fear failure, so we're not willing to take action. We and spin our wheels at the start line. And once you are a creator and you're like, all right, I'm going to see what happens, they get curious and they give it a shot. And it's amazing the results we can get when we are just willing to try and get curious and keep trying.
Yeah. I would imagine also when you're working with entrepreneurs that you run into a lot of perfectionism.
Mhm.
I know when I started, and as I work with people who are starting businesses, or even if they're starting a program, like they won't move forward until they have the certification, the website, like they've got to have all of the box, everything checked, all the boxes checked. So when they make their debut into the world as this business owner, they look put together, right?
Yes.
They don't want anyone to know that they're at the starting phase, or they don't want anyone to know. I've even seen people who are solopreneurs. They go through the question, do I say we or I on the website?
Oh,
Like
for sure.
I want to look like this big agency, right?
Yes.
So how do you get people over that? I've got to have everything put together.
A lot of it, well, two things really. One is realizing that that is your self-doubt, trying to keep you
Mhm.
in what I call your comfort cave.
Mm,
So you may be familiar with the phrase comfort zone. I call it a comfort cave because that primal brain, which earlier I talked about this
yeah.
conditioning that we have from our primal ancestors, that part, as our brain evolved over the years, part of that primal brain stuck with us and sees anything that is out of the ordinary or anything that is slightly risky, it's like big danger signs. So whenever
Mhm.
you're going to do something that could lead to your growth, the primal brain gets nervous and it sends you self-doubt as a way of keeping you from moving forward. So the first step is to recognize that perfectionism is one of those self-doubt roadblocks. It's
Mhm.
straight from the primal brain saying what you're doing is dangerous. Okay.
Mhm.
However, with our modern brain, we can say it's not dangerous, it's growth, it's
Mhm.
new. And so sometimes just being able to reframe something from this is hard or this is dangerous to this is new makes a big world of difference. The second component is accountability.
Mhm.
And I have a cohort, a group that I'm running right now called the Goal Getters Club. And in the current cohort, one of the things that we're doing, and that is an integral part of the cohort, is accountability. And we talk about the things that the entrepreneurs are doing and where they're avoiding and where they are feeling resistance. And so, for instance, one of the participants has been talking about it, launching a newsletter. And she's been talking about launching this newsletter now for probably the last 2 months. So when she checked in with us this week, she said, all right, I think I'm almost ready. I think I'll be ready to launch by the end of the month. And I said, no, you'll be ready to launch by next week. Like you
Mhm.
don't need to have 30 posts in your queue ready to go in case you burn out. Like you're going to be fine. It's going to be okay. And just giving people that nudge of
Mhm.
you've got everything you need. Go out there and give it a shot. Gather data of how it landed with your people. Did it raise questions? Did you see
Mhm.
that you left something out? And then fix it for next time. That's how
Mhm.
you grow. I have an acronym I love to use called it's ABC. Action brings clarity.
Mm.
And so when someone is struggling with perfectionism, what they can do is remember taking action is what's going to give them the clarity that they want. There's
Yes.
no such thing as a perfect plan.
No, there isn't. And I really appreciate, like, build the plane while you're flying it, right? Because you're going to get feedback. You're going to see things that you would never have seen before, where I think a lot of perfectionists go in, want the plan, buckle it up, and it's
Just
done.
tell me how to do
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's done. And you having that nudge, I think the other thing too with that is borrowing your willpower, borrowing your confidence that yes, you can do it.
Yes.
Like I
Yes.
see a lot of power in that.
Yes. Yes. And knowing that I'm going to check back in with them the next week,
Yeah.
right? And say, okay, last week you said you were going to have that newsletter draft ready to roll. How's it going? And then again, if she says it didn't happen, then we up the accountability where I'm like, I want you to text me at the end of the day and let me know if this is done.
Yeah.
And if not, I'm going to come looking for you. In the nicest way, most loving and supportive way possible. Like I don't let people quit on themselves. And that's why I say like borrow my belief in
Mhm.
you. because if you're in that program or if you're a client of mine, it's because I felt that you had the potential to be
Mhm.
able to reach the big goals that you set for yourself. And I'm just going to help you get there faster and easier.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
there's a lot of benefit in that. And I know, I've got a group program and I tell them when you don't feel like showing up, don't do it for yourself, do it for other people because, you're going to do it. And by you showing up, it just builds upon that.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So speaking about accountability, you have this, I know every Monday I open my feed on LinkedIn and I'm going to see this accountability check-in. And sometimes I will enter what I'm doing. And
Mm.
sometimes, even if I don't comment, Jen, I want you to know it does make me stop and pause and think, okay, what is my top domino this week, right? Like, what's the one thing that's going to move everything forward? What type of a reaction have you had to this post? Because it is every Monday.
Yeah, I've been doing it now for about 2 years, maybe 2.5 years. Every Monday, I put up a post that says, all right, here we go, new week. What are you working on?
Mm.
I write something else about it. And then I say, tell me in the comments what you're committing to doing this weekend. I will check back with you and see how you did. And I really do. Like, I will
Yeah,
send a
you
DM
do.
the following Monday and say, Lisa, you said you were going to blah, blah, blah.
Hmm.
How did it go? And so I get some very mixed reactions. I'm glad that you shared with me that it does make you think because I do get a lot of um, like accountability is the key to success. Like people will leave very like nice comments, but not really committing to what they're doing that
Mhm.
week. Um, and then I will also get people who do say like this week I'm working on
Mhm.
my content for the end of July and blah 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 blah. And then I get to the point where when I email people or when I message people the next week for check-in, I would say if I have 30 people that leave a comment and say I'm doing X, Y, and Z, and I message them the next Monday, I would say that maybe around five of them actually message me back, which is very
Really?
interesting, right?
Yes.
Very interesting. So, but that doesn't stop me, and I
Yeah.
keep doing it. And some people will come right back and they'll even say on the next week's post, like, Jen, last week I said I was going to do this. I didn't get it done. I'm recommitting to it this week. Perfect. That's what I love to see.
And
So,
one thing that I have found very interesting with that, a lot of people think LinkedIn, see the post, comment, keep moving. But when you read the comments from other people, I want to encourage people
yeah.
who maybe are not familiar with LinkedIn. Like, this would be a great way, reading the comments of what people are working on. That is another way for you to communicate what you do to
Mm.
people who are reading the comments. Someone may see that you're working on launching this new program about blah, 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 and they think, I need that. They may reach out to you. So I want to encourage people that comments on LinkedIn, you can find so many things. Yeah.
Oh, and I have met so many virtual friends through the
Mhm.
comments that's how you and I got connected, Lisa, right?
Exactly. 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 And if I find people that I'm interested in, I'll start reacting to their post and I will start commenting in a very thoughtful way on their post and start conversations there. I've got so many LinkedIn friends and a lot end up on this podcast because I find
Right.
something and a tie-in with that. So when we look at this Goal Getters Club, Jen, what really inspired you to start this and who are you looking for? Who is the right person?
So I started it for one of two reasons. One, I started it because it was something that I needed.
Mm.
Like I am a solopreneur. As a solopreneur, I was really struggling with doing the things that I needed to do.
Mhm.
And I knew what I needed to do. I was just struggling with getting them done. Like I would let deadlines slip a little bit, and it caused a lot of like the things that I coach people on now, like that was me
Mhm.
in the past, right? So I quickly realized that I was not alone,
Mhm.
that it is something that a lot of people struggle with, doing the things that they know they need to do to move their business forward. Okay. And I knew that with my accountability without the angst and with my special kind of teaching and my mindset work that I had something that I could offer that would help make people's entrepreneurial journeys easier and
Mhm.
faster and, quite honestly, more fun because we laugh a lot in that group when we meet. We meet on Zoom. Um, and just to be able to also provide the community, I also wanted to provide the space for people to say, oh my gosh, it's not just me,
Mhm.
right? Because we feel like I'm the only one who struggles with procrastination. It's just me. I'm the only one who can't hold a promise to myself. Coming into that group every week and hearing where people are getting stuck, where they're feeling resistance, it's like so reassuring that you are doing your very best and that everybody has the same struggles that you have.
Mhm.
And now, because you're in the group, you have strategies to move past them. And because you have the accountability, you're more likely to do it. Like I've had people say, we meet on Tuesdays. This cohort meets on Tuesdays. And people have said, well, I knew we were going to meet today, so I got it done. And I'm like,
Awesome.
perfect.
That's exactly
So
exactly what
yeah,
we want.
you got it. So just seeing an opportunity, I was like, this is a much needed
Mhm.
opportunity and
Mhm.
it's growing and I'm really excited for that.
Yes, yesterday I was meeting with a relatively new entrepreneur. I would say within the past year she's launched, right? And in corporate, successful, great idea for a business model going into this. And I'd say she's between 6 and 12 months of launching. And she said, I didn't realize how hard it is. And I didn't realize how lonely it is.
Hmm.
So I want to applaud you for creating this space for people to go in where they can be authentically themselves, where they can look and see, I've struggled with that too. Or maybe I'm having a great week, but someone is not, to be able to lift someone else up. We need that.
Yes, I and it helps me as much as it helps them.
Yes,
So
it really does. But, you know, as you've talked about, our plans don't always go according to plan. So maybe share an example of how you can help somebody navigate this scenario.
of how plans don't always go as planned.
Hmm.
Well, I can even say like my own experience of being a teacher. I was going to be a teacher until the day I retired.
Hmm.
And I was teaching, I was probably in year maybe 6. And now keep in mind, because I didn't start teaching until I was already into my late 30s and I had grown kids, well, school age kids myself, I kind of saw education through a different
Hmm.
lens. And I fell in love with around year 6, I fell in love with teaching writing and really felt like I was called to do something with writing. And I asked my administration right around well, it would have been year 9. I spent year 6 through 9, like honing my craft of teaching
Yeah.
writing, leading writing retreats at school, helping other teachers with their writing instruction. Around year 9, I felt like I was being called to something bigger.
Hmm.
And I asked my administration at school if I could leave the classroom and if I could become the district writing coach and help all the teachers in the whole district teach writing. And they told me no, because my students' test scores were too high. And so they needed me to stay in the classroom. And so here I
Mm.
was with my plan of being a teacher for the rest of my life and helping and staying in education. And I just felt completely frustrated because I was like, can you not see like how I can benefit like more people on a larger scale? Um, and I was talking one morning to one of the co-teachers at school and sharing my frustration. And she said to me, Jen, the reason they said no is because you don't belong here anymore. You are made for bigger things,
Mm.
and it's time that you go after them.
I got chills.
And
I go,
I was
go.
like that message, I really do believe that message that she delivered to me was like the universe speaking through her and saying, get
Hmm.
going, girl. Like this is happening for you. Now, if I had been a victim,
Hmm.
I would have been like, like, how dare they say no? Okay, now it's time to teach social studies. Like, but no, I took it and I was like, okay, I'm going to use this as a step to my next level. So that's why when things don't always work out for you, they are working out for you, just not
Mhm.
in a way that you can see them necessarily yet. Like Steve Jobs said, we can't connect the dots going forward. We can only
Mhm.
connect them looking back. And I truly do believe that. And I know you do a lot of work with human design, Lisa.
Yes.
And when I learned my human design, I'm a 6-2 generator. When I learned that all of these events and things and experiences that I've had in life are all necessary to get me to where I'm supposed to be,
Mhm.
I'm like, oh, well, now it all makes sense.
It
Right.
does.
And I could see it and I'm like, okay, cool. And I really do feel like I love this work that I'm doing now. And I feel like this is work I think I'm meant to be doing forever, but who knows? Maybe the universe has bigger plans for me. I don't know. We'll see. But I know that it's always happening for me.
Well, that generator energy will tell you, like, if it's lighting you up, it's what you're supposed to do. And if it's not, and like, look what happened. You sense that frustration. And again, generator, when we have that frustration, that is
Mhm.
a signal to us. We're not aligned with what we're supposed to do.
Mm-mm.
And how great, because look at how many people you're impacting. And these people, if they are parents, are modeling that for children. Like you can impact even more people. So, the other thing I want to say about that, as you were talking, that person was a mirror to help
Mm.
you see what you could not see yourself.
Mhm.
And I imagine that is one of the things that you do in your Goal Getters Club.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yep.
So that next cohort is starting when? You've got a cohort just starting in a couple of weeks, I
We
think.
have a cohort starting August 5th. The next cohort after that will be in October. I have limited seats available. There were 10 seats. Two are taken already. It's been open for essentially like 2 days, and two seats are
Okay.
already snagged. But I'm really, really excited to grow that community because it will definitely, just being a part of it, realizing you're not alone, having that accountability, having that nudge when you need it. Like I said, I told the group, I said, you guys know me. I will give you a gentle, loving kick in the pants if you need it. And they're like, that's why we're here. Like they know that there's times when they need to take action. And you mentioned about that teacher being a mirror for me, and it reminds me of a message that I deliver so often in Goal Getters Club. And I mentioned it even today in my LinkedIn post, which was you are an entrepreneur because you were given a gift to bring to life.
Mhm.
And that gift, in some way or another, is going to help people and it's going to make their lives or their businesses easier. And when you are sitting in self doubt and you're
Mhm.
procrastinating and you're feeling perfectionism or you're not feeling qualified because of imposter fear, people are staying in pain.
Mhm.
And we don't want people to be in pain. And so taking the attention off ourselves and our own doubt, and instead of focusing on that and focusing on, I'm here to help people and
Mhm.
making it about them is so powerful. And that's a message I deliver on the regular in Goal Getters Club because we always need that reminder, right?
We do, we do. And I had that same reminder from a friend who was a videographer during COVID. And we were going to do something and it would require me getting on video. And I was terrified to
Mm,
do that. He said, what about that person looking for you? They can't find you if you're hiding, right? And then all of a sudden, I was like, oh, well, that's been really selfish. I'm all worried about myself. That
yeah,
person out there I can help.
yeah.
I think that's a really powerful thing. So this Goal Getters Club, Jen, all right. So if somebody's listening to this right now, what is the problem I have that you're going to help me solve by being part of this group? And what could I expect during this session? Like, how long does this club last?
It's a 6-month commitment
Okay.
because change takes time
Hmm.
and because you are going to be doing some things that are uncomfortable because those are the things you've been avoiding. So the problem that we solve is that we help you take action on the things that you're avoiding. Everybody knows what they need to do. It's not business coaching. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very clear about that. I'm not a business coach. It is going to get you moving forward on those things that you've been avoiding. Okay. So I ask for a 6-month commitment. And after that, you can stay in for as long as you want
Mm-hmm.
on a month by month basis. Honestly, I've had one person leave.
Mm.
And that wasn't because she didn't enjoy it. It's because she had to take care of
Yeah.
her health. Um, so it's just, and I've got people who are in there now who, like, for instance, one of the participants is in the process of moving across states. And last week she checked in on the phone, like she was in the meeting with us on the phone because she said, I didn't want to miss it. And I was like, oh,
So great. Well, she
so great.
needed it. She needed it,
And
right?
we needed her.
Right.
We needed her
Yeah.
there. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And
whatever it is, if you're avoiding something or feeling resistance and it's impacting your business,
mm-hmm.
also, if feel like you're stuck doing things that are keeping you busy but not productive,
Mm-hmm.
that's
Mm-hmm.
something that we are also really good at identifying what are the needle movers in your business and let's get those onto your calendar.
So that was actually where I was going next. How can you help someone see if what they're doing is busy? I'm busy. I'm working on my business. Look at what I'm doing. I'm out here networking again. I see that all the time. Versus
Mhm.
being productive. How can we tell the difference?
Mhm. I like to think of productive, I call them forward-facing activities, meaning
Mm-hmm.
you are in front of your ideal client, or
Mm-hmm.
you are doing something that is going to bring in revenue, like a direct line to revenue in your business. Okay. If you're not doing that, chances are really good that it's busy work. And that
Mm-hmm.
busy work I'm going to say it's easier because it doesn't have the same level of discomfort. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
remember, primal brain doesn't want you like growing your business because that's risky. And so anytime you're going to talk to someone, you could face rejection. And so it wants you to stay in your comfort cave. So it's going to make that feel really uncomfortable. And we naturally avoid things that are uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So those forward-facing things are those things that are uncomfortable for you. Okay, but they're also the things that are going to help you grow your business and stay in business.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's where the power of being in a group when you are uncomfortable can really help because you've got people encouraging and cheering you on and also holding you to say you could do better, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you can do better.
Yes.
All of that.
Yes. So those busy activities, don't get me
Mhm.
wrong, those are important. Like we've got to pay the bills. We've got to do the LinkedIn comments. We've got to do like there are things like that. The problem is that what happens is we tend to do those first. They
Mhm.
take up the bulk of our time. And then it's like, oh, I'll do the hard thing tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'll do the reach out tomorrow. I'll send the sales proposal tomorrow.
Hmm. Yeah, all of that. So, as we get ready to wrap up here, I always love to. This has been a great coaching session for anybody, and I'll come back to this again when I need a pump up. But for listeners who are feeling stuck, what's one actionable step they could take immediately to begin trusting themselves more?
That is a really, really great question. I have this concept that I teach called the self-trust bank.
Mm,
And if you can imagine a piggy bank in your mind,
hmm.
every time that you say you're going to do something and you do it, you're making a deposit in your self-trust bank.
Mm,
Okay, so you can imagine like the coins dropping in, you hear the clink, clink, clink. Every time that you say you're going to do something for your business or for yourself and you don't, you're making a withdrawal. Okay. When you want to do something hard, you need to have a big fat self-trust bank because that represents to you that you show up and do the things that you say you're going to do. So I like to encourage people to make as many deposits as they can in their self-trust bank from even the little things of, shooting a video when they thought that they couldn't. Like that's probably a significant deposit. But
hmm.
it could also be like sending a DM or reaching out to someone. Anytime you can make a deposit in your self-trust bank, that's like starts earning interest for you. Okay. And the goal is to make sure that you're making more deposits than withdrawals.
Yeah.
I actually have a client, one of the ladies in the Goal Getters Club, who has a physical piggy bank on her desk and coins that she drops in there when she does. when she does things that she says she's going to do. It's just a great reminder. And so there are times where she's like, yeah, my piggy bank is not feeling very full these days. Like I got to get on it.
Well, and what a great visual representation to have that. And I would even say, like, have a reward when it gets filled. What are you going to do with the money, right? Like, do
Yeah,
something fun to have it
for
to work
sure.
towards. So, wow, some really just great ideas and things. I could see the value of this program. So, Jen, thank you so much for being with us today. I know you've encouraged a lot of people. You encourage me when I see you in my feed. I'm glad we've been able to have a conversation, bring that LinkedIn connection to life here,
Yes.
and let people see, you don't have to be just going out in your neighborhood. Go out, and there's people all over the world to meet with. So thanks
Oh,
so much for being with us today.
thank you so much, Lisa, for having me. It's been a blast talking with you.
Yeah, thank you. So we can see all the empowering insights and wonderful advice that Jen has. Make sure that you check out the links in the show notes, and particularly her Goal Getters Club starting in just a few weeks. Timing
Yeah,
of this was perfect. I don't know how that worked
I'm
out,
so
but
grateful. Yes.
timing is great. And as a reminder, as we get ready for another week ahead, go chase your passion. It will reveal your purpose and take you on the road to discovering your legendary self. This is Lisa McGuire, and thank you for joining us for your passion, purpose, and personal brand.